Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I got the wrong mic here apparently. All right.
Alexandria, it's been a couple days since the events under Pew Polishers sort of wrapped up and some things came to light. And you asked for and have been given some space while you try to deal with the revelations that have come about as try to get the business where you would like it to be now that you are the sole owner and it was sold to you for $1 on the official paperwork. Um, your manager just sort of pieced out and left you the office, the paperwork, the computers, all of it, taking only some personal effects, pictures of her cat and such with her when she left. What has been your driving goal over these last couple days?
To get the business into a more, I guess, less interesting spot for others to come to us. So putting prices much higher, um, making it much harder to get in contact with me. Basically, everything I need to do to drive business away.
It's so basically you're kind of making it look like a shell company. Okay, that's something you know how to do. Um,
Just for right now, it's a short term thing while all this weirdness is going on until we figure out what's going on.
what combination of skill and attribute would you use to make that happen?
I know one's deception, subterfuge,
Okay,
and cunning. No,
subterfuge,
manipulation.
manipulation. Okay. Do you have any specialties in there that you think would apply?
I don't think masking counts for this.
Unfortunately, not for this. No, no, that's a different kind of masking. So go ahead and give me the roll.
Uh, one success.
One success. Okay, so you're struggling a little bit because you're learning the systems. A lot of this, your manager really handled a lot of the upfront paperwork for you, so you didn't have to really necessarily know about the permits and business licenses and tax forms and everything else that goes into managing a business, restructuring a business, even if you're restructuring it down to an employee of one, um, or a head count of one in this case, I suppose. And are you looking to change the name? Are you
Not yet.
okay?
I want to keep it under the name that it is. She thinks it's going to be safer that way for the time being.
Okay. How would, while she's going through the paperwork and be looking through old files and things that she probably hadn't thought of or cared about before, how would Alexandria notice something strange? Notice maybe a pattern.
Cunning. Cunning and leadership, I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah, we can go with that. Go ahead, give me the roll.
Two
Two
success.
successes. Okay. So while you are going through the paperwork for previous jobs, jobs that the company may have been approached for, but never actually got to you necessarily, you do notice a pattern, and that pattern is either businesses or people who are known associates of Jimmy Gadsden, the mayor. His name doesn't appear directly on anything, but his cronies, as it were, or at a couple businesses he is known to have his hand in, do show up with a fair amount of regularity, and most of them are in the turned down category. There are two that she finds in there that are jobs she actually took for a company that wasn't one of these, but it appears that your manager at some point did a little digging and found that they were just a little more removed from the nucleus of the mayor, but were also involved. There isn't a pattern to the buildings that they wanted or the locations necessarily that they were trying to hire on to look at, but it feels, given the recent experience, it feels kind of like what Randall was having Alex doing or trying
Okay.
to have Alex doing.
We have a group chat, right?
Yes, yes, you do.
Yeah, she'll shoot a quick message being like, "Hey, if anyone has any information about the mayor, like, let me know. I think I found something."
And this is a couple days into doing the whole business thing. So after you send that out, uh, not long after, you get a text back just from Annabelle saying, everybody else went to look into some disappearances in the sanatorium. We didn't want to bother you. We knew you were dealing with things that you asked for some space. Uh, but I don't know if they're gonna notice these right away. I'll do some digging though. I'm still at the bookstore. I wasn't going.
Thanks.
A little
I
thumbs up
guess I'll
emoji.
head there.
All right. Well, as you go to step out of the office, the phone rings.
Okay. Picks it up.
Miss Melanome. The voice on the other end is confident, calm, cultured. A voice that she's heard before in radio bits, a couple of press conferences. It's Jimmy Gadsden himself.
Okay.
I was notified about some paperwork coming through that you were assuming sole ownership of your surveying business. And I was hoping we could discuss some business now that your manager is not interposing herself in specific matters.
Um, I'm headed out the door at the moment. Can I possibly have set a meeting for you later next week?
Absolutely. I'll have my secretary reach out to you. Please do answer her. I know things are busy, but uh, I would very much like to meet with you and discuss business matters, as I feel that I certainly help can certainly help smooth along some of these permit requisitions and generally make life easier for the both of us.
I'll be a lookout on her call.
Outstanding. You be safe out there, Miss Melanoe. Streets are a little more dangerous than they used to be. Click.
Fuck. Yep, and she's gonna head out because I'm not waiting for that call.
All right, so you step out, and by now you've recovered your vehicle from where it had been left, and you hired somebody to take care of the sort of head shaped dent in the door, and you know where the sanatorium is. Everybody knows where the sanatorium is, and everybody knows that even the kind of kids who start fires for fun generally don't go to the sanatorium. It is not a great place to hang out. Up until very recently, nobody disappeared there. There'd been some accidents there, people, urban explorer stuff and whatnot. But as Annabelle sort of clues you in a little bit later, Annabelle texts to fill you in. They had actually made a smaller group chat to leave you alone. So she's sharing some of the information that they found out in the bigger group chat. Two different paranormal investigative teams have gone missing recently. The first one, Extreme Mike, not really a team so much as one guy who drinks way too much white Monster and probably takes guest or boner pills before he does this. Goes into places with his
Where's
buddy.
Oakley's in a backwards hat?
He wears Oakley's and a fedora. Yeah, and always the tank top, even in situations that definitely could involve rusty nails. He's
Just
just
not away from my drink.
yeah, absolutely. And he just goes in with the iPhone camera. There's no production values. There's no real research. There's just two hyped up dudes. Might be just a little bit of meth in there. It's hard to say, but going in and screaming and acting the fool in places that are supposed to be haunted. The other group, the Solarium 3, have a name that doesn't make a lot of sense, but they're a couple steps above Extreme Mike, although that's not terribly hard when you get right down to it. However, they actually have a cameraman and real equipment. They have Jenny Harth, who is their believer, their psychic sensitive medium. And then they have their resident skeptic, Tim Matthews. He's the science-based voice of reason who always looks for the explanation to where that creek is coming from, or why they might be getting a reading on this or item, or what that playback sound really is. They're kind of the high-profile one. Everybody sort of expected Extreme Mike to go missing at some point, somehow. I mean, it's really not a shock. But the Solarium 3 have always been careful, methodical in their approach. Along with the good production values, they do research on the places that they search. They have safety equipment. They, file for permits generally. If they can't get permits, well, then they're going to break in and do it anyway. But they at least try to, be as legitimate as possible. So that's where your friends went. Your brother, your girlfriend, and Saul. Now, in your heart of hearts, and just based on how people who know you, it's clear to everyone involved who cares to think about it, that this time away was as much to give to your loved ones some time to think about how they feel without having you be right there to muddy the waters. So it's been radio silence from them for days. And if you try to text or call any of them, you don't get anywhere. Well, there's only two of them who actually have phones, and one of them is communicated to by magical moth. When you try to call Xander, assuming you're trying to call them after the text.
I try to at least reach out while I'm on my way
Okay.
there.
Xander's just rings and rings and goes to voicemail. Juliet's picks up, but it's not Juliet. A very professional, prim lady's voice, the kind that screams, "Head nurse," says, "Thank you for calling. How may I direct your call?"
I'm patient Juliet Fairchild.
Ah, yes, Miss Fairchild. She's one of our newer intakes. I'm surprised you knew she was here already, but I'm afraid I can't direct you to her at this time. She's about to undergo her treatments for today. Can I leave her a message?
Um, uh, what about Alexander Melanoe?
Oh, Alex. We like Alex. He's just
Shit, I messed up
warmth
our
and
names.
sunshine.
Xander Melanoe.
I went with it.
Ah!
What if Xander? We love Xander. He's just you give him some plants in the windowsill, and he's just right as rain. It's it's a shame what we're gonna have to do to him to cure him. Of course, I can't go into any specifics at this time, but
It is on like speaker on her in her car, and she
yeah,
is driving faster and faster as this woman talks because she's like I'm gonna let you just go, lady,
yeah. Okay,
and I'm gonna get there.
we'll see you soon, Alex. Click.
Fuck.
And you get there as fast as possible. You are pulled over for speeding, but you aren't given a
Yep.
ticket.
Yep.
You're pretty well known, and generally you're a cautious driver, so you're let off with a warning. And that warning comes with a little, "We're letting you off this time. Mr. Gadsden wanted you to have this little favor. Have a nice day." And gets in his car and drives away. But eventually you get there. And of course, you don't see any cars parked around the edge of it for multiple reasons, not the least of which is none of them have a car.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you going to figure out how they got in?
This is not what I'm good at. Um, probably look around, see if there's anything that looks like it's already been either broken into or opened or
Okay, and what skill and attribute would you use for that?
dexterity and survival.
Okay.
Ooh,
successes. Ooh,
two successes.
that was a balance of
With-
ones and successes.
With 2 failures.
So it takes a little bit, but you do notice what looks like they might be some relatively recent shoe prints leading around to the back gate. And at the back gate, it looks like the padlock through the chain is not actually perfectly together anymore. And a little investigation shows that it looks like it had been cut, like the steel loop had been cut just almost flush with the lock itself, and she can just twist and slide open. And when she does, she sees a van, a fairly well kept, looks kind of like this sort of van you would expect the FBI to have parked outside somebody's house with, pest control or generic plumbing name on the side. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
If she looks in the windows, she'll see what the team saw last week. She'll see uh, some Whataburger wrappers like bags and drinks and such, some sort of counters, computers, like a pegboard with some hooks, with looks like a fair amount of equipment missing, although some flashlights and some other probably esoteric. Because I don't imagine it. Does Alexandria watch a lot of like ghost hunting stuff or
She watched it
paranormal?
with Juliet.
Okay. Then she'd be familiar enough to see, like that looks like it's probably an EMF reader. That's probably a spirit box, parabolic microphone, a couple things like that. And she sees footprints, a fair number of footprints leading to a door. A door that's slightly ajar, while everything else she can see is locked up, boarded over pretty heavily, at least on the ground floor.
So, yeah, she'll be doing this quietly, but she is going up the steps, opening the door,
Okay.
and she's going to try
Okay.
and find him.
What she sees is, despite the rumors and knowledge of the place, not necessarily what she would have expected to see. It's disused. There's some water discoloration on some of the walls, but there aren't really any. There's no weeds growing inside. There's no animal droppings or signs that rats have been gnawing on things. No graffiti. No broken windows. None of the things you would expect with a storied, abandoned building like this. There are footprints in the dust, and all of them seem to be leading the same way. There's a set of like steel sided swinging doors with the little glass windows with the crosshatched wire in the glass itself. None of the footsteps go that way, though. All of them seem to follow a path towards an archway, a darkened archway, um, that looks like it's leads more towards possibly a not intake area, but a reception area, one of those areas where a doctor would meet with the family of patients to go over the progress, any roadblocks, anything like that before possibly going in for visitation. Where does she go?
To the reception area.
Okay. So she follows the footprints, steps through the arch, and it would have been a very comfortable place once upon a time. There are lots of chairs and even couches remaining in the older like the older, like your grandma's couch style of patterns. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But there's lots of seating areas, all of them sort of blocked by what looks like mostly empty planters at this point, but also little screens and things. So people could meet and have a bit of privacy in a bigger open room. There are some windows that, despite the grime, let in a fair amount of light. And it smells a little moldy in here. But again, nothing has chewed, at least that she can see, nothing has chewed through the cushions. Nothing has, you know, torn up anything. Everything looks like somebody, like everybody who was here just got up and left. Little pipe bomb there. It's a nice little interlude. But she sees clipboards on a couch on the other side of the room, backed by some more doors. These are heavier looking doors with the sort of drop lock bars that could be used to make sure nobody gets out. Does she go and check them?
She's gonna go look at the clipboards.
The first one reads Fairchild, comma, Juliet. Attachment issues. Brain damage. Recommended electroshock therapy and cold water treatments to unlock latent memories. The next one reads Melanoe, Xander. Believes plants can talk. Attachment issues. Possibly autistic. Recommend, that wasn't an insult, that's what's on the paper. Recommend group therapy and exposure therapy to encourage socialization. The last one. What is Saul's actual last name if he ever had one? You're muted. Or far away from that.
If he has one, he doesn't know. Saul is probably not his real name either. So whatever his birth name is, go ahead and make it up because he doesn't care. John Stamos.
Stamos, Joan, refers to himself as Solace. Believes the gods of voodoo are real and speak to him. Believes he has been a horse and ridden by spirits. This one's going to be a bit tougher. He is a true believer. And so first we need to get to the bottom of where this originates from. Probably raised in a cult. Possible childhood abuse. We'll get to the bottom of it. And then the doors, the heavy doors that looked to be locked when she last laid eyes on them, clunk heavily. The sound of a large weight settling against a slab of steel, and a soft creak as they open just enough to let out a little light. The kind of sterile white hospital light that we all know and hate.
Yeah, yep, I'm gonna have to go save my friends. Let's go. She'll actually, she does do this. She makes sure to put out her cigarette before she heads into the full hospital.
They do thank you for not smoking. So,
It says so right on the sign.
yeah, yeah. And just as she passes through, the no admittance beyond this point sign that was besides the door clatters to the ground, and the doors thunk shut behind her. And that's where we're going to drop the curtain on that little cold open.
Yay.
Welcome, everybody, to Everyday Divinity, the game that constantly pulls on my knowledge of and love of horror and inflicts it on everybody who seems to love it. We're going to go ahead and start off the introductions the way we always do with our cold open star, in this case, Sam.
Hey y'all, my name is Sarah. I go by Sans on the Discord. I'm on this channel 5.5 nights a week. I'm here tonight as Alexandria Melnoe. This can't get any fucking worse. And yes, I am going to keep that one, probably for the entire game. Our Sunday game, 7th Sea, Shadow of the Voxtime, I play Rosa Nix. Oh no! On Monday, Pandora's Gift Nightcast, I play Clarity Palace, the best healer ever. I'm not a necromancer. Our Tuesday game, Rise of the Temple, which is also D&D. Our homebrew world by our wonderful DM, Shadow. I play Aiko of House Wolf. Our Wednesday game, Mask Oracle Force. I play Nightwish. For some reason, they kept me as leader. And for Thursday, I am the DM of the Chaos over on Deviant Paradox in our City of Mist campaign. Other than that, you can find me over on Tango Productions, working with the Scar Adventurer and Rock Paper Fox on stuff and things that'll come out eventually. Yay! I don't remember if it's hot potato or give back to you. Okay. Let's give it over to Saul S because he's unmuted.
Okay, I am actually ready this time. I'm not going to talk about any of the regular things because we got a special thing tomorrow and it's not even on our channel, and I'm going to talk about it anyway because it's going to be so much fun and it's a good cause. Tomorrow, July 4th, as of the recording of this, the Mighty and Wondrous Hellhounds 20 is going to be doing a 24-hour streaming marathon. Part of which is a kaiju battle that I get to be part of. I will be playing a kaiju level-sized drop bear, and tune in. Very simple mechanics, lots of great players. It's going to be ridiculous. Think of like Robot Wars, but with kaiju. That's the plot. Other than that, everything else, tune in 6 nights a week. Chances are you'll find us here. And with that, the potato showed, the hot potato, I hurl, pomme de terre showed. Yeah, that's the one. I'll hurl that at Mudkip.
Hello, over on the Discord. I am known as Mudkip. I was only trying to throw a thing at a chat, kept being told, hey, I gotta wait a little more time. I'm just like, why are you this way? So, okay. We really wanted to shout out Hellhounds for the game tomorrow night. As far as me, I am here 2 nights a week. The first event is our Thursday night game, which is our Deviant Paradox game, which is a City of Mist campaign with Sarah. I know Sarah just stepped off, but it's okay. She's DM. She takes GM. She takes all of our ideas, mixes them in a pot, tells us, hey, by the way, I also have this role if you want to play it in. And then find out that we prefer to play in the sandbox. That's fine. She puts up with us. It's great. The other night with tonight's Friday night, it is our Everyday Divinity game, which is our Scion system. I know, we play so many different systems here. It's hard to keep them straight sometimes. But that's okay. It's crazy. I get to play Xander. He likes to plants. The paper didn't lie. The only thing it lied about is that they think group therapy is going to work. No, they're all going to love plants by the time they're done. His love for plants is infectious.
Yeah.
It might be a fungus. It just might be. But anyway, I'm going to go toss it to the final one for introductions, who is going to be our, over on Discord. Tooth on Discord, correct? Or Ren? I think you're Ren on Discord
it's
now.
Still Tooth on Discord.
Still Tooth on Discord. Okay.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ren. You found me. I am here on Mondays in our Oracle. No, hello. It's been a day. It's been a week. Hi, I'm Ren. You found me. I am here on Mondays in our Pandora's Gift Suncast as Xenon Al-Qaeda's Cleric of Nyx. Alternating Wednesdays as Trek in our Oracle Force game. Thursdays as Nora Avalon in Deviant Paradox. I really love being the comedy relief and whimsy in the campaign. Pike, please. This is my cat. I am here today as Juliet Fairchild. Probably should be in a sanatorium. Who's to say? And on Sundays, I'm here as Rena Ingfeld's daughter in Shadow of the Vulture. That's all for me, so I'm going to pass it back to our Weaver of Fate.
That's me. Hey, folks. I'm your friendly neighborhood Bat Kyle here. You can find me on Fridays, weaving the fates and the horrors of this lovely cast that I am so lucky to get to GM for. You can find me on Sundays playing Len, the Wizard of Ice, Costin. Still trying to figure out how to get a marriage and childbirth in between liberating an entire country. That's some scheduling conflicts there. They'll figure it out. Otherwise, you can find me in the chats of pretty much every game here, being a menace, or in the Discord, being a menace, especially when it comes to horrible food things, or in other people's streams, being a menace. It's just kind of how I do. And so with that, we're going to swing over to, well, I think we need to wait for Bren to get back, because we're going to swing over to our trio who had just decided that they were going to burst in the door and save somebody who wasn't there.
It's okay. Pike nearly stepped up to the plate, but went off camera.
They're coming. They're coming.
There's a thought.
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
I wasn't.
Run away!
Absolutely
Run away!
Was not sitting in your chair. Absolutely was not about to talking to your mic. Definitely not.
Nope. It was a wise choice to hide your dinner from Pike in the cabinet. Pike was very curious.
I know.
So, Juliet, Xander, and Saul. The room you burst into was, of course, empty, but not necessarily long uninhabited from the drying blood you found on the table, the restraints, and the quite rusty surgical saw. The room looks otherwise like a somewhat corroded, disused version of the bleeding picture, which is still bleeding, by the way. However, the blood doesn't actually seem to drip off of the picture. It just runs down the picture and fades into nothingness just before it reaches the end.
When it started bleeding, I mentioned it in Green Room, she did take a photo of the bleeding photo before blood covered the picture.
Yep. That photo does start bleeding too.
Cool.
So, but it doesn't seem to be harming the picture at all, either of them.
Okay, so you can still see the contents of the photo.
Yeah, the longer you watch it, the more it's almost like a sanguine lava lamp.
Oh.
In that things trail down to the bottom, and then the streak breaks, and another one kind of goes. So you can see the thing when you try and if you try and wash the blood off or move it with your fingers, it smears around and continues its travel. It doesn't stick to your fingers. It feels a little tacky when you touch it, but that's about it.
Weird.
It's like the background in an old Flintstones cartoon. It goes around and around and around, and it's tacky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boom. So are you doing anything in the room? Or are you
Solace is
just-
looking for where they took the pieces because it looks like they cut somebody up. So they didn't just disappear.
They didn't. But you won't even have to roll for this. There's not like any sort of parts chute or anything
Mhm.
in the room. There
Yeah.
is a empty old metal trash can that like the flip top kind with the little pedal that
the
doesn't
step,
have anything in it at this
Okay.
point. But whatever happened in here, it did not remain in here, as far as you can tell.
And did we follow footprints in here?
Yes,
Okay.
you followed what you assumed was Jenny Harth's footprints in here, and that's who it would take Juliet to sort of confirm, but that's who you saw strapped to the table.
She would share the information.
But
After
that's
the
the only.
shock of the bleeding photo.
But there's no other footprints on the floor, just hers.
Just hers.
I don't. Needless to say, they don't leave again.
They don't leave again. No, everything comes in. Her footprints lead right up to the table.
They walked in, sat on the table, laid down, got killed, got cut apart by people whose feet don't touch the ground. Yes. That's why I'm staring off into the distance like this. I'm trying to put this together.
Xander's gonna take a look at the bone saw, and especially the blood, if it's even slightly tacky, might be able to get an idea about how long ago something happened here.
It is fairly tacky. What would he use to determine that? I know he's got some first aid training, but
Admittedly, I may argue more from a survival aspect from when he's trying to find people in the woods.
okay, no, I'll accept
It's
that.
the
Yeah.
okay. I found trace of person. How long has it been here? And that's kind of what he's going off of. But that mine means he's going off of intellect, so
Medicine
Still
and
8 dice.
intellect? Yeah.
Survival intellect.
Survival. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't get anything for forest exploration because we're not really near a single tree except for ones that have been cut down.
Correct. Correct.
For the one success.
It's not dry, but it's also rather cooler in here than it is outside. You're beginning to notice it didn't seem so out in the reception intake area, but especially in this room, it's noticeably cooler. So it could be anywhere from half an hour to almost 2 hours at this point. It's not in much longer or sooner than that, any sooner, and it would be a lot more liquid. And outside of that, even with the cool, it would have completely hardened by now.
Xander would mention that, at least based on the blood, between 30 minutes and 2 hours. So this was recent, relatively speaking.
And when did they go missing?
They've been missing for about 2 days.
Yeah. I don't like the way time works here. And turn around and go back out in the hallway. And what I'm looking for is the footprints of the other two explorers.
The other
He's
two
purely gathering evidence at this point.
Yeah, the other two go further down the hall. And again, it's not an infinite hall. It goes down a ways, and then there's a turn off to the left, like a corridor that might go to another section, and then a T-junction down at the far end. And
okay, go ahead.
I
I
was
think
going to say,
Juliet would follow.
everybody's gonna be
She's like, we're
separated.
not alone. Little
was-
does she know, Alex is here alone.
I was just about to say, in a big moment of character development, Saul remembers he's part of a team and says, I'm going to follow the feet, and just heads off after the footprints. So
Right.
he actually told people what he was going to do for the first time ever.
Character development.
Character development.
Character
After
Merc. Could be go.
couple of steps, the overhead lights, which are once again a little rusty, a little dusty. The bulbs are black. Some of them do appear to have burst. There's a little glass on the floor.
Mhm.
They flicker on. And for a couple moments, you're seeing the sanatorium as it was, with the soothing walls, the clean floors, the sterile feeling to everything, heavy locked doors, and music of the Carpenters we've only just begun, playing softly from the speakers above. You don't see anybody for these few moments. No doctors, no nurses, but you hear them and you feel them as though they're moving around you. And it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's not any whispered threats or horrors or anything. It's, how is the patient in room 4? What are their vitals? When are they scheduled for their treatments? And then it flickers off again. And you're back exactly where you were. Except each of you has a plastic band around your left wrist with your last name, comma first name, a file number, and your blood type.
Try and burn it off. I got a lighter.
It discolors,
Mm-hmm.
it blackens, but the plastic doesn't shrivel or fade. It doesn't deform physically in any way.
But we're still in our clothes.
You're still in your clothes. Nothing, as far as you can tell, at least, nothing's gone missing. You just have some new jewelry.
Turn back and look at Juliet. Is Xander following as well?
Yes, he is following.
Turn and look back and say, "Ah, the goddess of the river Niger. It is about death, but also about prosperity. About the sky, but also about," he kind of kicks a puddle nearby, "water. Death's not so bad." And then into the stunning silence that follows, he turns around and follows the footprints.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out where the water came from.
There was water all through here, wasn't there?
There was water
There is?
damage.
Yeah.
I imagine
But-
Solace hitting a puddle the way Troy does in bed on it.
Okay.
The slap across the water.
You follow the footsteps for a little while, for another minute or so, getting closer to the first turnoff, when all of you can hear from behind one of the heavy doors on your right that is firmly closed, scrabbling like desperate fingernails on metal. And then the slam of a body hitting an unyielding door. There's no screams, no words at all, just scrabbling resuming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Run and open the door.
not surprised.
Not a
Okay.
choice. That's not even an option for Saul. That's a closed door. Like that's. You saw Pike earlier when Ren left the room. Pike sat by the door like, "You bastard! You locked it." Yeah, that's Saul on a good day. So yeah, closed doors.
Saul opens the door, and the room is, as you might have suspected, empty, or at least unoccupied, but not unadorned. Scratched into the wall, and in a few places, it looks like written in blood, are just the words, "I'm not crazy, let me out." Over and over again. The door itself, the inside, bears bloody scratch marks. As though determined digging had happened beyond the ability of flesh to withstand it. There's no body, there's no pool of blood on the floor. Whoever is searching, what would you roll?
Question:
I-
Was there one set of footprints that came into this room, or did both of them?
No, neither set.
Neither set.
Went
Okay,
into this
this is a
room.
completely different room. Okay.
Um,
I'd almost look at Juliet to take a picture of the room.
she will.
So while you're doing that, Solus looks at Xander and says, "They were wrong. We're all crazy."
We fought we talked to human-sized leeches days ago.
Yep. Probably none of this is really happening.
I ate a talking mushroom.
I saw a death that didn't happen, except it did, but not when I saw it.
And for a moment, in the gap between words in your discussion, it sounds like somebody is writing something down on a clipboard. But you don't see anybody. Anyway, the search roll. Does anybody?
I mean, also Sharon.
I will also search around. How are we feeling about occult?
I think. Occult-
Considering what we've seen so far, that seems pretty.
Cult plus cat.
Good. And which do you like more? Intellect or cunning?
Let's go with cunning for this one.
Cool.
And
I mean, you're good. I'm definitely gonna go medicine because
okay.
it's kind of from the medical perspective. Like, what does this room look like at this point? But I'm kind of between like intellect resolve at this point, kind of for the what's secondary.
No, I could see resolve. One success.
Might I also have a not afraid of the occult as an enhancement?
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate for this one.
For this one, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, it's a 0. That's
And,
a hard 0 from me.
And Solus walks back out in the hall. There's no people here. He's still hoping to save one of the two.
Okay, so yeah, Xander, you don't find anything. It's set up the way you would expect. There's a bed frame with a very lumpy, dusty mattress. Juliet, though, you find under there's a little side table for the bed that's bolted to the floors and walls, but you find under the table, just through intuition, some sixth sense, you feel under it and you remove an old driver's license. And the name on the driver's license is Steve Helms. It's got his address. He lived here in Merlayfield. But you don't know him. He was just, and when you see the picture on it, he's fairly nondescript. He's got light brown eyes, brown hair, little pencil mustache and goatee. He looks like anybody you could buy something from at the gas station or, pass in the hall at an office and just be like, oh, there's,
Just
that
like a
guy.
regular guy.
Yeah, just a very regular guy. And the name isn't familiar to you from any Urban Explorer podcasts or YouTube channels. No no ghost hunter outfits, anything like that. But it expired. The license itself expired about 5 years ago.
She's gonna. Hmm. She's gonna take it. And potentially get Annabelle to look into it, see if there was like, if maybe looking back, he was sane, and like the only thing that came up about his mental health were these records in the sanatorium. Like, because if he's saying he's not crazy, she wants to, see if there was anything before this. Obviously, that can't happen until they leave. But
Yeah, but she's taking it for to do that afterwards.
That works for because for me, Solace, while Juliet and Xander were searching the room, he stepped out in the hall and went looking for the nurse's station.
All right. The nurse's station is down. You find it across from that T junction, or across from the left turn. There's like a little nurse's station set into the wall with the little cutout, and then the sort of sterile flat topped desk and recesses and some cabinets there, and a couple of chairs that have definitely seen better days but don't look like they would break under you.
So, looking for paperwork from the last days of the sanitarium. Why did it close? Was there is there nurses' notes that talked about possession, or what kind of weirdness happened? What he's trying to figure out.
All right. And what would he use to ferret those out of because there are still some files and things, and it looks like the footsteps or the footprints in the dust stopped here and then moved on.
Yeah, we're following them. I just wanted to try and get this first. So this might be a stretch. Medicine, because he knows how to read medical files. Because he's got his first aid training, and intellect.
Yeah, no, that definitely works.
Street medicine does not help. 3.
Very good. Yeah, you ferret through there aren't a lot of actual medical records still here, but you do find memos and notices. As far as you can tell, at least from the paperwork that's here, the sanatorium just closed down due to lack of funding. The city no longer felt that it was necessary. Less and less funding was coming in every year, especially from even the private citizens, other than a couple of, sort of, I suppose, diehard families. There was less and less money, and they weren't able to keep the sanatorium going, so they closed things down. They transferred out the few remaining patients, and that was, as far as at least the paperwork you find here, that.
And he's just thinking, like, anybody from Murleyfield, crazy or not, that was shipped out of Murleyfield into a world full of gods and open events of magic, is, if they weren't crazy before that, they're going to be crazy after. Right? So, yeah. And with that, okay. And he just puts the paperwork back down and goes back to following the footsteps. This time forgetting to tell people that he's moving on. But
all right.
Juliet was sort of right behind him, so. Oh no, you stayed in the room. You and Xander stayed in the room. Never mind.
Yeah, they stayed
probably
to search.
Didn't spend for long before we went back to the footprints, but that's up to you.
No, you're a little bit of ways. Alexandria.
Yep.
You don't know where the hell you are. There are maps on the walls at regular intervals saying you are here and clearly showing routes on how to get to a couple different places. The cafeteria, to back out to intake, where you're supposed to go in case of a fire, where some of the different group therapy and activities, leisure rooms, things like that are. But it doesn't seem to matter how you try to follow those maps. Everyone you find is different, and everyone you find has "you are here" in a slightly more mocking font every time. By this point, it's become "you!" exclamation point are here in Comic Sans.
Yeah, there's just a lot of. I really wish I had a cigarette. I really wish I had a smoke.
After a couple of those, thank you for not smoking at the little circle with the line through it, cigarette signs start popping up on the walls.
Yeah, she's not going to. She respects like hospitals and such. Um, I should say she respects buildings. That makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Um,
Is she doing anything
but
different?
yeah,
Is she
she's
trying
just
to go in some of the doors, or is she just following the hallways and signs trying to find her way out? What is she? How is her approach after it becomes clear that she's not really getting anywhere for all that she's done a lot of walking?
she is calmly like she's gonna look in one of the rooms.
Right. Like, is she opening the door or looking through the little glass ports? All of them have the little
It's
glass
it's
window.
always yeah, it's always through the window. She's having the utmost respect for the building.
Okay.
Is all I can all I'm getting.
The first window she looks through, she sees a young girl, 16, maybe 17, obviously pregnant, in one of the hospital gowns, just standing there next to a bed with the sort of hospital gray blanket, the hospital type blankets, neatly done, um, turned back, a single pillow. Her hair is very long, completely black, hanging down over her face. She's technically facing the window, but doesn't seem to be able to or desire to see through the curtain of not very well kempt hair. There are definitely some tangles and mats in it. Her fingers, her arms, all of them are very thin. Not skeletal necessarily, but definitely the thin that comes with trying to grow another life in you with not enough nourishment. And
Yep.
she just,
Look, step back, keep walking.
okay. Okay.
Also, hands behind her back. She's making sure not to touch any door handle.
Very good. Very smart. The next one she looks through when she pauses, it's the same girl, a little more pregnant, hair's a little longer. She can hear a faint humming, um, off-key lullaby, and just rocking and stroking the belly and humming. The next one,
Steps back, keeps walking. Yep.
yeah. The next one, that same girl, not pregnant anymore, stroking a flat belly. Still can't see her face. But she's crying now. Bitter tears. Full body sobbing. And just the faintest words again and again. They took my baby. She was all that I had. They took my baby. And then she slams into the door as Alex goes to step back. The hair parts, and a manic face, twisted and inhuman, like somebody had distorted the photo of what had been a pretty young girl. With black pits for eyes and a gaping, drooling mouth, screaming, "They took my baby, you bitch!" They're gonna take everything from you too. It sits there.
Steps back and walks away.
A little bit more walking. And then from behind her, she hears a click and footsteps. Not hurried, matching her pace, but obviously barefoot.
Oh. I know what Alex wants to do. And it's how she handles everything, which is blinders up, don't pay attention, keep pace, act like it's not there. Because I think this is how she's dealt with the occult her entire life. Is it's not there if I don't give it any attention.
Mm-hmm. And for a little bit, that seems to be working
has
for
he-
her. The sound seems to be holding the same distance, the exact same following her steps. Just there's a step, barefoot step. She takes a step, barefoot step. But after a little bit, those steps start to get faster. Not running, but a little faster and a little closer. And soon, as she can hear distantly, like she's at the other end of a very long tube or tunnel, a baby crying. And step. And cry. And step. And it's getting closer. The light is dying behind her, where it was bright and hospital insomnia causing bright in those softly humming halogen tubes with the little hood, two little posts in the ceiling at regular intervals. She hears as the light shuts off behind her, as another light shuts off behind her, and the feet get closer, and the crying gets louder. And then, just as she feels thin, chill, bony fingers reach out and touch her shoulder, and a voice saying, "Have you seen my baby? He's beautiful." And there's Soul at a desk, looking through files.
Perfect timing, because yeah, he's had that moment at the file desk when he looks up and sees like the most normal thing in the world. Oh, good, Alexandria's here. This is all a trap. There's no way the two of them would have gone deeper after the first one died 2 days ago and 2 hours ago. They would have left. I don't care how crazy they are. But you know the nice thing about traps is it's really easy to turn them into ambushes.
Awesome. Fucking fantastic, Soul.
Hi,
Mm-hmm.
you look
Hey.
like shit.
Yeah, I really hate this place.
Me too.
If Alex turns around now that Soul's here, she sees a knot. Oh nope. Okay.
I mean, if there's anything behind it that's actually there, Saul will. I mean,
No, no.
I can't say I look to see, but you know.
No, for Saul,
No,
when he like looks her,
Alexandria's making a point to stay forward.
Yeah.
Like, she will not even turn around to look at the door. She will make a point to do like a U-turn to look at the door. That is how
Okay.
afraid of turning around she is at the moment.
all right. When she does her sort of walking U-turn, which this is about the point I think Xander and Juliet sort of kind of catch back up, because it wasn't very long for them. They see Alexandria doing this sort of walking U-turn to turn back and face the hallway, and the hallway's pretty banal. It's not very long, and it leads back to those double doors for the reception area that she came in. There are some what appear to be office doors. They've got the little stick out like plaques with the incised
Yep.
names on them. There's a couple more record rooms. There's some examination rooms. There's even a break room. But everybody else will notice a handprint on Alex's shoulder, thin fingered, black as pitch, small.
Juliet's taking a picture. It's gonna help us get more information.
And just
Hopefully.
Say I want to
yeah,
live.
just immediately. Just immediately, I missed you. All of you.
I can't speak for everyone, but I missed you too.
Let's get out of here.
Somebody touched you, and I point at the handprint.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Do you think they'll let us leave
Yeah,
with
it is
these?
that sharp too, and I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh yeah. No, it's okay. I told your character they look like shit. It's all good.
Xander's
Yeah,
kind of looking down at the
She's also
armband
dealing
like,
with withdrawals.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
And Alex might notice at this point that she also has a patient bracelet on now on the left wrist. Melanoe, Alexandria.
Juliet's gonna grab Alex's hand with her wristband. Why don't we try to get out of here, crazies?
Sounds good.
Which door are you trying to leave through?
The open one.
Yeah.
Neither of them are open. Like they're
We
both
have
closed
the-
right now.
We have the opener of ways with us. There better be
We
an
have-
open door.
You have the door that led into the sort of reception area, and then the doors that you guys came in, the swinging double doors that are further back the way you came by the intake that you all came in, which I might have said already. It's been a long week.
We're not done doing what we were coming here to do, though.
Yeah, finding the other two may help figure out what happened and how to get out.
We have to at least make sure they're dead.
True. Being
That's-
trapped here would be terrible.
Well then, we do that and then get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You follow the footprints then, I'm taking it.
I Actually, as we do, can I do a shift of a knack uh, from beyond memory to unobtrusive visitor for what it's worth?
Yeah,
Maybe a roll.
yeah,
See if I can do occult and resolve to see if I could force one.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll say that it if it works, it only works because the way or the wall between worlds seems
It's so thin here. Yeah.
thinner here.
Yeah. So I just took. I spent my. We had 4 XP left, and I spent 3 of them on True Believer for occult. So I think that one makes sense.
It
And
would.
but I'm being a good boy and only using my resolve, which is actually my weakest mental attribute, but it's the appropriate one. No additional dice, but I do get an enhancement.
While we're talking knacks, is there any particular smell of the place?
No,
Okay.
that's the odd thing. The only thing you can smell here is the smells you've come to associate with Juliet, yourself, and Alex, and Saul. That combination of amber and rum and tobacco and ozone and grapes and or not grapes, olives and such that you only really have ever smelled on you guys, Annabelle and Zane.
4 successes.
4 successes. That is enough. You reach for that gift that has protected you for a long time. And it feels in your soul as though a hand had reached out and plucked one something, one
Yep.
aspect, some fragment of your being out, and then neatly slots another in. And there's a little gentle pat on the spiritual head.
And Solus welcomes his rider because it's a horse and rider sort of thing. This is not amongst equals. So,
All of you, after this happens, hear a chorus of voices screaming, "This is our domain." And it's like a door has slammed shut and cut out all light, all air movement, all the things that you attribute to an open room. It feels more like a bank vault around your souls.
and
Who
you said
did
it's,
what?
it's dark now. You said.
No, the
Oh,
light
okay.
is still there. This
Okay.
is metaphysical. Like
All right. All right.
you suddenly feel choked off from something you've always had at least a little bit of a connection to. And rage in the air, rage burning along your skin. Once again, not causing damage. There are no visible effects, but you feel it intrinsically.
If you are wanting us to hear you,
No.
okay.
Okay.
We made somebody mad, but we
Yeah.
can't figure out who.
And Alexandria's so freaking out.
Oh, Solus.
I-
Go ahead.
No, you go.
To the shrieks of "This is our place," Solus responds, "I'm just here to open the door. You don't have to come out if you don't want to. But even if we're going to leave, I have to open the door."
There's a crackle. The old sound of ancient PAs,
Yeah.
PA systems sparking to life. And an educated, controlled voice. The kind that you immediately says, pompous, of course, full
Mhm.
of themselves, and that they know everything that they need to know. The kind of voice that screams 1950s doctor. I mean, for good value of it, doctors today too, but this is something a little ancient, and the voice says, "Nobody leaves until they are cured." You're all sick. Can't you see that?
We're not sick. We're just different. And there's like this deep nod that he's agreeing with himself. That nobody's going to tell him he's crazy.
Being different is sick. Society tells you what is healthy.
And that's how you ended up trapped here, even though you were supposed to be sane.
I am sane.
Then how come you're still trapped here? You've been dead forever.
Dead? Ah, dear man. We're not dead.
Then come out
We
where we
never
can see
die.
you.
You'll see us soon enough.
I
But you
still,
need to take the tour first.
I still
You
think
need
you're
to...
dead. Hey, he's cutting him off intentionally. This isn't accidental, sort of talking over him. This is Saul. Here's one of his key features is anti-establishment.
Yep.
So yeah, as soon as this guy gets pompous, Saul's cutting him off and disrespecting him and calling him on his shit just as much as he can. So it's intentional. He's trying to make him mad. He's trying to make him do something stupid.
Oh, there's real delight in his voice when he says, "It's always the mouthy ones who break the hardest." Click, click.
Typical. Steals the last word. Ah, didn't earn it. And then turns around and looks at the others. So I guess we can't leave. I guess we might as well stay. So we might as well just go get him, right? I mean, he's not even
Still-
real.
The footprints?
They have to be fake. If you watched your friend, if you came here with two of your friends and one of them walked into a room and was cut to pieces on a table, why would the two of you keep going?
And why? So there is real danger.
Well,
Wait,
the danger is very real, but the footsteps and all of that shit's a trap.
of course.
But he told us we can't leave. So what's the last thing he'd expect us to do?
Leave?
Keep going.
Go deeper. Open all the doors. Let the people here decide if they want to stay. It's not up to him. It never was. It's okay if we free them. They're dead. They can't hurt real people.
Looks at the handprint on their shoulder.
Should I remind you? We aren't real people, Solace.
Well, that makes it even better. He said we were crazy. We're not
Different
crazy. We're
than-
just different.
Different than people.
But everybody's different from everybody. Otherwise, we'd all be the same.
Yes.
So if he thinks there's a normal, then he's the one that's crazy.
I did have that thought.
On the other hand, I think he's trapped here by his own beliefs.
So are we going in?
Yeah.
And there's a grin on Solace's face.
The only way out is through.
And we open every door on the way.
Behind you, a
I-
door bursts open as you're having this discussion.
Aw.
Back towards the first doors that the original group came through.
Mm-hmm.
And what comes crawling out is, it looks like a chain of straitjackets. like somebody formed a centipede out of old, discolored straitjackets
Yep.
with the sleeves free and trailing the belts and buckles.
Mhm.
The head of this
Like a
thing
crazy
is
conga line.
only crawling and scuttling rather
Oh,
like
yes.
centipede legs.
Uh-huh. Oh,
The
beautiful.
head
Yeah.
is an amalgam of screaming mouths and eyes, all of them bellowing. There's what had them locked in there in the first place. I didn't touch them. I didn't do it. I just kissed one girl. I don't know why I like fire. But let us out. Let us out. Let us out. And the voices get louder and louder as more and more of it emerges and scuttles down the hallway towards you, weaving in serpentine.
Juliet did take a photo.
Yeah. Nope, you got your photo. This one's
Alex
not bleeding.
freezes.
The way out has
What's-
always been open. All you have to do is leave. He points at the front doors.
Let
They're,
us out.
they're literally not locked. We came in. Or the way we came
can't-
in. Those doors that we came in through and out the back. Yeah.
We can't leave. They won't let us. He said we're sick. But maybe, you can let us out if you're a part of us.
I would rather not. We
gonna
can't
take-
get out either. And Juliet, I think, is kind of like backing up,
Oh.
making sure to like hang on to Alex, seeing that she froze.
About that, Alex is like hand like Xander's like, sorry, this grabs hand. We're gonna start kind of going a little bit faster down this hallway,
Mhm. Perfect.
further in a little with some clip.
I love it. The three of them are leaving. Solace turns.
Oh,
to
I was gonna say Juliet is probably at the tail of the group watching.
Okay. Because, yeah, you said you went over to Alexandria, so the three of you were all together.
Well, she's kind of like backing up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Solace is gonna dance with the snake, man. It's time to dance with the cobra. He starts talking to them. Well, if you need to get out and you need permission, perhaps we should go and find the boss. That nice man in the white suit that's so pompous and assholish. The one that only ever comes to the speakers and we never see. We should go and find him. You probably want to have a word after all this time. And I would like to persuade them using my persuasion and my intellect, and my speciality on persuasion is debunking theories.
I'll allow it.
Intellect and gives me one enhancement.
You want me to roll for running?
4 successes again.
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
The straitjacket amalgam stops, lifts up a little, and sways in time with Solace.
Yep.
And for a few heartbeats, he is regarded by several different sets of eyes. And he can see the lips moving as though it's having a conversation with itself. And then softer now. Less, maybe not less rage, but rage put in abeyance. It says, yes, Yes, maybe it is time.
then
And the doors along the corridor leading up to where it is
Yeah.
open in tandem. And more straitjackets that you could swear weren't in there
hmm
in the rooms that you checked blow out and seem to join this conglomerate, this aggregation of pain and lost souls. And the voices lead the way. We don't know how to find him.
I think we should start with his office. I'm sure he had many of you there. Where's that? And I'm going to
Can't-
try and get them to lead me through the mayhem of this place. If it doesn't work,
Can't
it doesn't
remember.
work. Yeah, okay.
It's been so long.
Okay. Well, then let's follow the footsteps.
Because Xander and Alex are together, Juliet is not leaving Saul.
Yeah.
She's staying with Saul.
Yeah.
Well, the conglomerate is going to be following you as a group.
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah, we can't leave, right? And we can't
Yeah.
get them out. So now we've at
Just-
least got them. Yeah.
Juliet's not straying too far from Saul.
Now we got something to feed the doctor too.
And the more doors you pass as you go down the hallway, the more souls seem to join.
Oh.
But there's a feeling, a sensation of an avalanche just a second away from crashing down on you that tells you, all of you, even the least emotionally astute of you, that if this doesn't work, there's nothing that's going to save you.
The Rush song is vital signs.
It's a good one.
As
It's a good one.
Saul starts to dance his way down the hall, turns his back on them as they come out, like the control sort of head of the snake thing, and then starts dancing because they were weaving and whatnot when they came at me, right? So even as they're filling up behind, he's dancing his way down the hall, following the footsteps, because I want to explain it to everybody because he's convinced that this is a trap. The footprints will lead to the bad guy. Plus, they're the only clue we've got. So his plan is to turn that trap into an ambush. He kind of mentioned it to Alexandria, but he's a little cryptic. So I figured I'd lay it out above table. But yeah, that's his plan. He's taken the cobra to the guy that put it in the cage. So.
All right. Then you reach the T junction. To the left is a sign that says cafeteria and leisure rooms, and to the right is administration.
That's where we're going. Admin. Yep. I want to find the doctor's offices, and in particular that nobody that pompous is anything but the boss. So I'm looking for the corner office and admin. Then I'm going to shut up for a minute so these guys can tell you what they're doing, because I'm on the brink of
How's
stealing
everybody
this
else
scene.
handling this?
So shut up for a minute.
For our side, did Xander notice Juliet get the driver's license?
Xander would have noticed it. He just couldn't find anything himself. Nothing
Kind of-
stood out the way.
With the feeling of foreboding, he's gonna hand Juliet the vampire teeth and say nothing to Alexandria about why he's handing them to Juliet. For the above board, they're the things that Annabelle gave us to communicate with her. If there was anything we wanted her to look
Right.
into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Figuring that Juliet found something, may want to ask about it.
Yes. As they're strolling, because Juliet's kind of like in the middle.
Hmm.
Like not far from Saul.
Hmm.
She's just going to Annabelle. What was the name?
The name was Steve Helms.
Would you be a doll and look into Steve Helms for me? Psychiatric records, the lot.
All of that comes out in a weird sort of combination of Juliet's voice and Bela Lugosi as she's talking around the wax lips. And as you're wandering, making your way down the halls, through some twists and turns and passing some lesser offices, there's nothing. Is Juliet keeping them in or just sort of holding them after saying her message?
Well, because she knows she doesn't have to have it in her mouth to hear it, she's not gonna put it in her mouth. Like, she's not gonna keep it there.
After a bit, you get a reply. The lips stir in your hand, suddenly feeling warm and a little more supple, almost like real lips covered in a thick layer of wax. And the voice comes out, "Blah! Steve Helms was the great grandson of Eustace Helms, the head psychiatrist at the sanatorium. Blah!"
Sorry, could you put the name in chat? I didn't say Siri, you can go now.
So much backstory in one evil giggle.
Blah! He went missing 5 years ago. Blah! I can't find anything else except he really loved his cat, according to his Facebook.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As you turn the corner towards what feels like it should be the keystone, the end, the big honcho section of administration, standing in the hallway and blocking it are two very large twisted figures in almost stereotypical orderly garb. The white sort of short sleeved button downs, the pressed white pants, black shoes. Their bodies are twisted, like their skin, their muscles, everything was taffy and turned and melded, and it's definitely doesn't give you the sensation that these things were ever actually human. They seem like they were made from something. They have no actual faces, just a slash for a mouth in a semi-oval head. Both open those mouths to say, "Go back to your rooms. You know what happens to bad girls and bad boys when they leave their rooms without permission."
We have an appointment. They're functionaries. They're orderlies. Yeah.
The doctor isn't taking appointments. He's seeing a patient right now.
Well, there are many more patients he needs to see.
and he will see them in time. But for now, go back to your rooms.
No, I don't think we will.
Spirits
Juliet, I can
behind
see you. Yeah.
Yes, Juliet?
Not that Juliet thinks this is a great idea, but she's believing in Saul's cause.
Okay.
Eustace. I believe we have some things to talk about. She's like calling out.
The orderlies look at each other in eerie synchronicity. The kind of thing you only see normally in like identical twins.
Mhm.
And they step aside enough for one body to get through and raise hands to point at Juliet specifically. You may speak to the doctor.
Now you see, this is where Juliet believing in Saul's cause bites her in the ass.
Saul nods at you and gives you the go.
What's the plan?
And Alexandria is trying to like act like none of this is happening.
Mhm. Xander? I'm not.
I
Let,
mean-
I'm not letting Mudkip just sit there and.
It's kind of we're here.
Yep.
Juliet's been invited in. It's like, Juliet, go. And when you're gone, then we may have more things to do with these orderies. But we at least need to get somebody in the door.
Yeah. Juliet's gonna go.
As they step to the side to make way, I try and trick one of them.
Saul is like a $1.20 soaking wet, and
Yep.
these are very, very large.
Yep.
He tries, they don't even really seem to notice.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to make them try and catch me. I'm going to try and get by. If they don't, if I trip them and they don't fall, then I'm just going to try and get by.
All right. What would he use to try and dodge by them? Because they're very much not interested in letting anybody but Juliet pass.
Yeah. Athletics and Dex.
Yeah, that'll work.
Good. And as he does it, he says over his shoulder, he says to all the straitjackets, "If they've ever called you crazy, now's your time." And he turns around and rushes. And Dex. Endurance running doesn't help. One success.
Right.
Even
Well,
I don't.
let's see.
He doesn't even need to get by. His plan is to open the door so that all the spirits in the straitjackets can get to the doctor. That's all his plan really is. And just above table, I rolled 4 1s out of 9 dice.
Yeah, that was
You're lucky you got that. One
And
success.
one success. I burned all my successes in my previous 2 rolls.
Yeah. You try to get past, and the orderly on the right's hand just snakes down and catches you by the front of your shirt and just sort of plants you in front of him and holds you there.
Yep.
You can be next, but one patient at a time. Once again, the same. Both of them are saying the same thing the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And just before we cut to Juliet, Alexandria feels a little tug on the back of her shirt. Have you seen my baby? Juliet! You're let through, and the room beyond is another waiting room. There's some, once again, comfortable couches along the walls up to a certain point with some end tables. Looks like the place there would normally be some magazines, and then there's a receptionist's desk right before a very bigger than it needs to be, like solid polished oak door with the big brass plaque on the front saying E. Helms, head psychiatrist, director of operations. It's got the brass sort of wavy handle that you push down on. Sitting at the desk is, it was probably a woman at one point, but there's nothing except clothes and bones. But those bones are still moving. Fingertips tap at an old style typewriters, the old clacky ones, a very nice looking brass affair. There's no paper. It obviously hasn't had ink in ages, but tap, 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 tap. Ding. Tap, 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 tap. Ding. Tap, tap, tap. It doesn't even seem to acknowledge that you're there. It doesn't tell you to go in. It doesn't try and stop you. The empty skull doesn't even turn to acknowledge you. It's window dressing, as far as you can determine. Just there because it's expected to be. You open the door, and the room beyond is as Saul would have expected. That sort of medical professional opulence. Walls of old medical texts that might have been cutting edge at their time. Treatise on the human mind, on addictions, on maladies of the brain. The desk is that old green leather covered that the high-end banks one time had. Scroll work, very, very ornate, very rich.
I want to real quickly interrupt before you get too far because I just looked at my character sheet and figured something out. When he puts me down, all I have to do is walk around the corner, unobtrusive visitor. I burn one momentum. I come back looking like an orderly and walk directly towards them saying mail call, mail delivery, and just walk through like I own the place. And they
Okay.
should. I roll subterfuge and cunning, and to try and fool them into letting me that I'm supposed to be there. And like I said, the only reason I mention it is because it would be just like a couple seconds later. So now let's see if it works. It was a good idea. Let's see if it works. 4 successes again. 4s and 1s. That's all I get today. I'm flipping coins. So.
Nope, that definitely gets you in. And for a moment, they hesitate. Just a heartbeat. But the neck being what it is, and them being what they are, they have to go along with what seems to be.
Mhm.
And in this case, Saul's allowed to go past. Just as the door closes behind Juliet.
You'll love it. So she's in the office, I'm in the foyer, and everybody else is still outside.
Yep.
Okay.
Xander, just before we get to everything else,
Yep, you're good.
Xander also feels a little tug on his shirt. This time it's an empty straitjacket, but there is a voice with it, and it's a younger male voice, maybe late teens, early 20s. Actually, it's probably just late teens. And the voice just says, Can you tell me about new plants? I haven't seen anything green in a long time.
I mean, we got time.
Mhm.
Perfect. So, well, Xander gives a TED talk on
Yeah. To all,
interesting new plants.
all the,
Actually, the worst part is
to all the straight jackets are staring on.
He is
intently
basically starting with him in the middle of like
learning.
the ancient Grecian field, and that is what he is describing in the plants that are there, what they
Yep.
would have been for.
Yeah,
And some of them
he's-
are just like, but this plant's completely useless. They wanted a new plant. You're telling me about plants that haven't existed in hundreds of years. What are you doing? I'm
to
telling you, green things,
everybody,
dang it.
all of them, the straitjackets that form up seem enthralled. If only because it's something new being described by somebody who's
And you're treating them like they're
alive.
not crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Juliet, seated behind that desk, is, well, at one time you could tell it would have been Steve Helms. But like it's got
Steve
his
or
Steve, the guy from the license plate.
okay.
It's clear that Steve hasn't actually been alive for a while. His flesh is sunken. He's got that gray pallor of old dead meat. But he's wearing an immaculate coat, like the, lab coat. He's got a little name tag, little brass name tag that says Eustace Helms. And he's just sitting there with his fingers together, elbows on the desk, studying Juliet.
And she's studying him right back.
So, more patience. That's good. It's good that you've come here to be helped. You wouldn't believe how cruel the world can be. You probably didn't even realize it. how
Sorry,
bad things-
you're a bit quiet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you probably didn't even realize how bad it was getting out there for you. How much you needed this help. So I'm glad you came to us willingly.
You can't help me here.
I can help anyone. That's what I do.
And what's my problem?
Oh, where to start, Miss Fairchild?
Enlighten me.
You
She's
think that
stalling.
ghosts are real, when obviously they're not.
I think they could be. I think it's intriguing.
Intriguing? I'm a man of science, Miss Fairchild. The world is a world of science and facts.
Science has its place, science has its time. But not everything can be explained in the world you see.
Of course it can. Everything has a logical explanation, a reason for why it happens, why it is, how it came to be, what it will be in the future. These are inviolate rules. And And he kind of gestures towards the white lock. And I understand that what happened to you is tragic. That your memories have been shattered. And that has undoubtedly led you to believe all of this hokum.
It's not all bad.
Oh,
I see the world differently. Change in perspective, if you will. And you seem to me like someone who hasn't even thought about what you think or what your values are in a long time.
Just so your text now.
well, that is, I suppose, a way someone in your condition would think. Nobody wants to believe that their beliefs are wrong. Nobody wants to think that they aren't well. But you okay there, Kevin?
I just. My character is not in the room, but he has hoisted himself on his own petard at least 4 times.
Yes, he has. Um, but you can be helped. I want to help you live a healthy, normal, happy life. That's why you're here. And that's why you can't leave until that happens. And he reaches over and lifts up a clipboard and he says, I've got your parent's signature right here. And it is a psychiatric intake form, but the names are just squiggles. Like her information is listed, but there's actually no actual name under the parents or guardians.
I don't have parents. You did, it seems, and you're in his place wearing his name tag. You look to me like someone who is deeply disturbed. I saw the room you were in. I found your license. You sound to me like someone who is deeply disturbed and could use some help.
What are you talking about? I am Dr. Eustace Phelps. I am the head psychologist and director here at the Merleville Sanitarium. My brain
You
is.
could just like Steve Helms if he looked a lot worse. So I assume that's you in the seat of your father because there's something deeply wrong with you.
There is no Steve. My son wasn't named Steve. Out of character, it was the great grandson. That's what Annabelle told you. Steve was the great grandson of Eustace. But we can let you walk that back. So, we'll get it. I am in charge here. I make people better, and they leave when they are better.
Is that why you haven't left? Is that why
My-
you can't leave?
My work isn't done.
You
It'll
look like
take
you
time.
haven't.
You can't rush these things. I mean,
Mm.
look at them. And he points over to where there had been a bookcase, and now you see the other two, or actually all three of the Solarium 3 in straitjackets against the wall, bound at the ankles and gagged. They look a little worse for wear, but they're all alive, just probably dehydrated and hungry.
So, this isn't You? She holds up the license.
Juliet, evens or odds?
Odds.
That's a 10. All right. Everything seems to freeze for a moment. Literally everything. The orderlies, the trio against the wall out in the foyer and the hallway, the orderlies, the spirit, everything stops as if somebody had just hit pause, except for you four. I know we're at 8. Is everybody okay with going just a little longer?
Yep.
Okay. And then, like the beat of a heart that had just stopped for a moment. Thump thump. No. Thump thump. No, that can't. No. Thump thump. I still have work to do. Thump thump.
It's okay. You can let go.
But what'll they do without me?
Oh, can I open the door and let in the ghosts at this point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you open the door and Xander, your TED talk is unfortunately interrupted.
Vengeance is at hand.
It's just kind of like seeing them start to charge, kind of pushes Alexandria kind of against the wall. It's like you probably don't want to be in the middle of the hall for what's about to go down.
And at this point, because I imagine the have you seen my baby just gets worse.
Yeah, it was getting worse. Like,
Yeah,
hello?
so Alexandria actually has her hands over her ears and has possibly started to like shrink into a ball.
Ball is fine. Ball in the middle of the hallway could get you run over by a bunch of straitjackets.
Yep. And this stream of spirits pours through the doorway, past Juliet. And just before the first of them impact this animated corpse, Eustace, maybe Steve, possibly both of them, says, "It's okay. We can all go now. I'm sorry." And it pours into this body. The straitjacket's soaking into him as though he weren't even really there. Like they're pouring into a hole. And it takes forever and honestly only a few heartbeats, a few moments before the last of them has vanished into his chest, and the coat falls apart and falls away. The name tag falls apart and falls away. The body slumps into the chair, unmoving, unanimated, and starting to smell. The three against the wall blink and start to stir, shaking like they're waking up from a really deep and very unpleasant dream. And it doesn't take long for very muffled and other very manly noises.
After they vanish, Juliet just goes, "May they all have a nice rest."
Saul walks over to Alexandria. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done. Sorry, go ahead.
And she's gonna turn to the three and like get them, gag them, and get them out of the straitjackets.
Solace turns to Alexandria, who was all like this, and helps her stand up. And you're way taller than he is. By the time you stand up, you're way taller. And he looks up
Yeah.
at
Did
you.
you run down the hallway?
Sorry?
Because they were
Hmm?
still.
Oh, they were still outside.
We're still in the hallway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, you probably wouldn't have seen. He wouldn't have seen Alexandria in that position. No. In that case, he turns to the three as Juliet's untying him. Turns to the three of them and says, "You're going to be okay, because none of that was real." And he just nods like that makes everything better.
Well,
And
it
then
was
turns around and
very
walks out of the
real at
empty
the time.
room. Yeah.
all right. The place just around you starts. It's not like in danger of falling apart,
Oh, yes.
but
Yep.
as though the effects of time are no longer being held at bay.
Perfect.
The three are helped up, and they're a little wobbly. We got to work some circulation back into limbs and such. They're thirsty. They're hungry. They've been terrified for a couple days now. But you help them out, and there are no endless turns this time. All the doors are open.
Are our bracelets gone?
No, the bracelets are still on there.
I like it.
But if you try and take them off, they do come off this time very easily. And
Alex is
oh, go ahead.
going to look, is going to see if the profiles are still there.
Like when you head out, like the clipboards that had the profiles
Yep.
for these. Yeah, nope, those are gone.
Okay. She was effectively looking to see if hers was there,
And yeah, I know we're leaving because the
and was
place is
going
starting-
to.
Go. Sorry, go ahead.
She was just going to make sure like no one ever saw it.
Yeah, nobody.
I
If
got
it
you.
was there, nobody. Nobody
Yeah.
would have seen it. She doesn't have to face that. She's already had to do the mirror once.
So even though we're kind of nearly almost rushing out, Saul takes a second at every single door and props them open. So there's literally no closed doors between the office and outside.
Some of them fall off the hinges.
Yeah,
Others,
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets them all opened, and you get back outside to the van, and they're very thankful.
Did we help the mic guy out?
He's amongst three.
Oh, okay.
Turns out none of them were dead.
Because you said
No,
Yeah.
no, you mean Steve? Oh, Extreme Mike. No, you didn't find
Mike's
Extreme
Mike's
Mike.
elsewhere.
No, he's
Oh,
in the
okay.
He's
forest.
mentioned
right?
elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in the
no,
place
he's
in the
at the
forest.
other house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other
Okay.
house.
Which we're not
People
going
thought
to
he
until
was-
morning.
Yeah. What Xander
People
would have done
thought.
on
Oh, good.
what Xander would have done on the way out is kind of basically putting wildflower seeds behind, just to give a
Ooh.
chance for something to grow inside.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
yeah.
I like
Perfect.
it.
On their way out, I think Juliet will go. Do we go to the bookstore and then home?
Telling Annabelle we're alive would be a good idea.
Alex, am I staying with you tonight?
I mean, if you want.
Is that a question you need to ask me?
Nope. Holds arm out for you.
She'll link arms.
Is the handprint still on her shoulder?
Yes, the handprint didn't go away.
Well, there's got to be some real life proof, otherwise maybe it was just a dream. I love this. This episode is so well written.
And Juliet is keeping her bracelet on.
I kind of figured Juliet at least would. The other three, however, after they get some snacks and water from the van, you just, as you wander away, you hear Jenny Harth go, "You know what? Let's do true crime instead." Yeah.
Cold case files, maybe like
Cold
50
case,
years
yeah.
old stuff. Saul,
And-
sorry.
Safer.
No, go ahead.
somehow.
Saul cuts off his wristband, reads the name one more time, shakes his head, and then burns it. Because it
I
had
think
his real name,
that's
yeah.
a good point to draw the curtain for tonight.
Oh, masterful session. Masterful. Weaver
Thank
of
you.
Fate is the right title for you. That was really well done.
Yep.
Whew. None of that was what I originally wrote down for this.
Of course not.
either.
No, that's
Nope.
no. I could feel it dancing on the edge of a razor blade, naked and blindfolded. I could see it, and I know how much I love that feeling. So the whole night it was like, just poke him a little bit. Just poke him. Just maybe troll him a little bit. Maybe just.
Yeah, I appreciated every moment of it.
I didn't expect that conversation to go that way.
Ren, that was brilliant. That was how to
really
breed
well
him.
done.
It's not the way that Saul figured out, but your way was way better, actually. Saul was going to challenge him on his reality. You don't exist. You're dead. What do you mean? How can you be a scientist if you're a scientist and you did the work? You see you're dead. But no, the you aren't who you say
Questioning
you are is much better. Questioning his
sanity.
his sanity rather than his existence. Yep, that was absolutely brilliant.
Because of course
And the
Juliet
line is that why you're still here? It's just like I heard the mic drop. Like it just
questioning one's sanity instead of reality is definitely more Juliet's approach anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It hurt him. Hit him where it hurts. Oh, but yeah.
All right. So that's going to draw the close for tonight. Thank you to all of my players for dancing on this nice knife edge with me and coming up with some great ways to solve things and react to things. You know, when we originally started, I expected Alexandria to be kind of the unflappable badass, and that's not been the case, and I love it.
Yep.
Um,
I like it
Dude,
though.
you
The
put her in
real
front of-
world stuff, she kicks ass. But the occult, it's like, nope, I can't control this. I don't have a degree in this. This can fuck off. yeah.
and the way Xander is like kind of the unflappable one, he's just like, oh, what's in front of me? Ghosts? Okay, well, we've got a plan. Let's do the plan.
Yeah.
All never knowing what he's going to do, and Juliet always finding that just wonderful Morticia Adams style twist to put on
the
things when
leverage.
you wouldn't expect it to come.
Yeah,
It's just I feel very blessed with this group. Thank you to chat. I saw things happening. I couldn't pay attention to it because I was making up almost all of this as I went. So, I had to kind of focus here. But I appreciate you being there. Anybody who made it to the end of the VOD or the YouTube, I mean, you made it this far. You obviously liked what you saw. If you haven't gone back and watched the beginning, I strongly suggest you do so. And once you've got to this point, we have a number of fantastic shows you can go watch, some of which are completed, some of which are still ongoing, all of which are wonderful. So, do the things, like, subscribe, all of that. And we'll cap it off the way we always do here at Dirty 20 Gaming, in that the world is a place we're all happy to escape from for a little while, and you can do your part to make it just a little less scary, even for one person, even if that person is just you. Be kind when you have the energy. If you don't have the energy to be kind, you can be nice, and at the very least, you can think for a moment and then maybe not make the world a little sadder for a little bit. With that said, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night,
Night,
everybody.
y'all.